Andrea's here with me, and Andrea, this is cool. Ben McKenzie's on with us, and Ben has just got that face. You've seen him in a million things.
Oh, I remember the OC.
A million. Well, yeah, the OC for sure. But Ben, what do you get most recognized for?
You know what's funny? If it's a woman, it's usually the OC.
Yeah.
If it's a comic book fan, it's Gotham. And if it's a security guy or a guy
Southland.
who runs Southland.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Southland was great.
Cops and security guys. Yeah. So I have a decent spread there.
No, there's no question. No question. Now, now, this is the part that I was fascinated by, and I love this. You have an economics degree, as all actors must.
Exactly.
Yes.
Really using that one. Really
Yes.
was using that one before writing this book.
I love the idea, though. He can talk to his agent or his manager and goes, "You're taking how much?"
Yeah.
Right.
So, you saw early that this whole crypto game was largely that, and you weren't afraid to talk about it. Did you get traction before you got this book out, or were people going, "Hey, man, join the party"?
Oh, yeah. Well, I fell into it because a friend of mine was like, "Hey, join the party," which, I mean, I'll bet probably the majority of your listeners have experienced some version of that, right? It's like at the height of the mania, everyone was, at least on their screens, they were richer, right? If they'd bought crypto, because theoretically the price has gone up, or at least, supposedly. And so they were encouraging their friends, not because they were malicious, because they were genuinely like, "Hey, man, I made some money on this. You should get in on it." And that's how Ponzi's and pyramid schemes work, is that people feel richer in the moment, even if effectively what's really being done is like money is being transferred from new investors to the original investors. And so, look, I've gotten all kinds of grief, but the truth of the matter is things have changed and changed so swiftly. I was speaking out at the height of the mania in the fall of 2021 when crypto was supposedly worth $3 trillion. Now that most of that money's gone and most people have lost money, now I think people are kind of wising up to it and hopefully want to read a book about, how it actually works and what the inside game is.
And the book's out on the 18th. It's called Easy Money, Cryptocurrency, Casino, Capitalism, and the Golden Age of Fraud. Andrea, say hi to Ben.
Ben, it's always fascinated me, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I never truly understood it, but what I love with what you've done with the book is that you try to warn people or explain it to them, and you've even testified on the floor of the Senate. What was that like?
That was surreal. I've never done that before. I've always heard DC compared to Hollywood, and the truth is there are some similarities. When you're on camera testifying, you'll look up at the dais above you, which has room to fit all of the members of the committee, but in fact, because they're not on camera, a lot of those seats are empty. So you're sort of speaking to like the chairman and the ranking member and a few other random people, but it's kind of quiet and calm, which for an actor, I'm actually used to, you know what I mean? It was strange. And it was also strange for me to be there because 2 years prior, if you had asked me about cryptocurrency, I probably would have said the same thing you just said, which is I don't really understand it. I don't even get it. You know what I mean? Most people haven't paid attention to it and haven't invested in it, which is great and good for them. And when people say what you just said, and they usually say, people that haven't invested, they say, I don't know, it seems kind of complicated, but a little scammy. And I go, no, you pretty much got it. It's not that complicated, but it is scammy. So trust your gut. And what I'm trying to do with the book is hopefully it appeals to people who bought in, who most of them have lost money, but also like the majority of the country that hasn't. And if you just wanted to kind of know what the ruckus was about, what all this nonsense was about, and have it explained in as simple a way as possible, hopefully entertaining, that's really what I try to do with the book. It's just about money and lying. It's not really about technology or because the technology in crypto is old. It's really money and lying. I know about money because I have a degree in economics and I made a little bit in showbiz. I know about lying because I'm an actor and I do it for a living.
I'm telling you,
Perfect,
if that's not the elevator pitch for the book, there never was one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Easy Money, Cryptocurrency, Casino, Capitalism, and the Golden Age of Fraud, talking with Ben McKenzie. All right, so I love your description of this because what's interesting to me is I like to think I know a little bit about this, but cryptocurrency was an umbrella term for gambling, but blockchain was a tech term that felt like it was foundational and would be a part of our lives. Are they both to be taken lightly, or is one more important than the other?
Well, definitely the technology has potential applications beyond crypto. I mean, look, crypto is, in my opinion, just a scam. It's just a massive Ponzi scheme. Blockchain, the underlying technology, is potentially useful, possibly, but we need to speak truth to power here and talk about some facts. Blockchain is not new. It's over 30 years old. It goes back to at least 1991, when Stuart Haber and Scott Stornetta, working at Bell Labs and building off the work of cryptographers like David Chaum in the 1980s, created the first blockchain, which is basically a blockchain is just a distributed ledger. It's just a way of storing information. So it's not particularly revolutionary, and it has problems inherently. It doesn't scale very well. It's very difficult, at this point impossible, for blockchain to actually serve as any form of money because it doesn't work at scale. Like Bitcoin, for example, can only handle 5 to 7 transactions a second, whereas Visa, MasterCard can do 24,000.
How about that?
So, right. And meanwhile, while you're getting that 5 to 7 transactions, you're running all these computers that are consuming an enormous amount of energy. But we need to clean up the market as it currently exists, because as it currently exists, and as unfortunately people are now aware, it's basically rife with fraud. Yeah. People are getting ripped off left and right.
The last piece, and I think this is really important, you talked about testifying on the Hill. Mm-hmm. More often than not, you see what Hill testimonies have turned into. And it's people trying to make hay with a clip they can run and fundraise. It's not about getting valid information in too many cases. But the other problem is too many times our elected reps don't understand what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And therefore they don't ask questions that move the issue forward and get the right thing out of people. The greater concern is banks and financial houses jumped into crypto in a huge way. So for people that go, I'm not in the market, yeah, you're in the market if you have a 401k. Yeah. So how much unwinding of our 401ks have to be done with bad investments in crypto?
Well, thankfully, there certainly were institutional players who were flirting with it, and some of them got burned. I'm thinking, for example, of the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan, which invested in FTX and lost all that money. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous, right? Imagine you're a teacher in Ontario and, you're not in charge of your pension, what your pension plan invests in. And then, unbeknownst to you, you probably don't even know it's invested in this thing and it goes kablooey. But what was really scary, and I write about it in the book, was when I went down to Washington in the summer of last year. This is before I testified, trying to lay the groundwork and educate lawmakers. Much to your point, lawmakers, by and large, were not that sophisticated, let's say, when it comes to understanding the intricacies of the market. They have a lot of things on their plate. And the only people that were really advocating for crypto just happened to be getting political donations from the crypto companies.
What a shocker.
Oh, what a shocker. Who could have ever...
Yeah. In Washington? Again, what?
Yeah, in Washington? No.
Yeah.
Which, look, man, that's not unique to crypto, right? Like, that's a problem that plagues our system more broadly. But with crypto, it was pretty galling. I mean, Sam Bankman-Fried, just to give you a sense of how big this got, Sam Bankman-Fried is now alleged to have been running I believe it's $100 million straw donor scheme, giving effectively $100 million to both Democrats and Republicans. It was, at the end of the day, they didn't care which party. And what they were trying to do was get it into our banking sector. There was a bill in the the Agricultural Committee, which is in charge of overseeing the CFTC, the Commodities Future Trading Commission. And that bill was colloquially known as Sam's Bill, because Sam Bankman-Fried and his cronies had helped write it.
Dude, you got to be, tell me you're writing that script.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I already did it. I'm doing a documentary. I recorded these guys on camera.
So. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty, it's going to be a comedy, kind of a tragic comedy.
Yeah,
right. A dark comedy.
Yeah, hilarious.
Or a tragic comedy. More.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about you, Ben, I just love the idea that you go in and casting agents are looking at you, and you're a terrific actor. I mean, there's no question about that. but they're looking at you, and maybe you slide the book over to them and go, hey, take a look at this. And they go home and they go, this guy's too smart for my stupid project.
He's like, I'm on to you. And they're like, uh-oh. That's so cool, though.
You know what would be perfect is if they did make the movie based on my book, but I went in and auditioned for it and I just don't get it.
Yeah. We're looking...
We're looking for Ryan Gosling, actually.
We're looking for a Ben McKenzie type, not necessarily Ben McKenzie.
Yeah, we don't know if you fit that.
All actors have this trajectory, right? Even the successful ones. Look, man, if we can make a movie out of it, that would be great. But I'm so proud of this book.
You should be. And people need to get it and consume it, and you'll understand it, and you won't glaze over. You'll understand it better. You'll ask better questions. It's important, frankly. Easy money, cryptocurrency, casino capitalism, and the golden age of fraud. And we're not out of it yet, kids. It's Ben McKenzie. And by the way, hello to your lovely wife, who's an amazing actress as well.
Thank you.
But enjoy the day, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve. Real pleasure.